Pick 'em pie, big gun Brian Petrie, giving out the lot. One is mortal, you know it won't miss. Gonna take a shot. Dog lock, that's the underdog. Yeah, they in the hunt. Send them home, that's KO or submission. Yeah, somebody done. Slime ball, yeah, that's the parlay. We gon' make it known. Pick 'em pie from MMA takes. Yeah, let's get it going.
What's up with the what's up, baby? Do not adjust your screens. It is only Timbo, our casual Christian, who's really pushing that work, trying to make it. That's why we're doing the early time slot. So if you're here early, I thank you. But my guy's got to go whiff in softball later tonight. Might not make it. He might pop on. I sent him the link. We don't know. But the chat's here, baby. Congrats on 2K. Woo, let's fucking go, baby. That's a big one. Noche, let's ourselves one hell of a time this evening. Let's be raking bacon Saturday. Yeah. Love you, Trindaddy. Also, someone on the AF Premiere asked me if I was Trindaddy from Big Guns podcast. I thought that was pretty fucking cool. I'm a fan, not a member, but I hold down for my dudes. I love it. What's up with the what's up? Kieran was the first one in the chat. The chat's already popping. I love it. Listen, before we get started, I always try to thank everyone that's in the chat that watches me, whatever. Because this is a passion project. Obviously, this has led to me being on ANF, which I make a little bit of money for. And this is obviously what I want to do for a living. But I always try to give a thank you or acknowledgement to the chat, for the people. And I used to never like to say the word fans because I feel like it was an ego. But they're fans of mine. I'm fans of them. And without them, this wouldn't be here. I started this YouTube channel with 25 subscribers for like maybe 4 months. And 25 of those were friends and family. No one else. And now we're at 2K. And I remember going to look at other podcasts that were doing MMA content. And they all would have 1,500, 2,000. But it seemed like the shows that were really getting some headway and people that were following had 2,000 subscribers. So for whatever reason, in my dumb brain, I made that like a benchmark. Like, I got to get to 2K. And we did it. We did it. Not me. You guys did it. Thank you so much. I'm humbled that, and I know it's not 2 million. I'm not giving an Oscar speech here, but I want to thank you to the chat. Thank you to Timbo, who's been around for a while. He was one of the very first ones. And my appreciation is never in doubt with you guys. It's amazing. I might not DM you back right away or whatever. It's because sometimes I try to put my phone down so you can spend some more time with family, whatever the case may be. But I appreciate every single fucking one of you. And we got UFC Noche, UFC 306, whatever you want to call it. But goddamn, 10 fights, smaller card, but I like a lot of spots in this card. I really dove deep because of the hype around it. I know a lot of people are poo-pooing it because Dana hyped it up. But people forget Dana's a promoter. He's also promoting his product. Timbo, I'm going to stop talking. What do you think about the card, bub?
I'm interested in it for sure. It's definitely gauged my interest. Pretty top heavy,
Yeah.
Obviously 2 championship fights, excellent fights, both of them. Brian Ortega and Diego Lopes, also very well-rounded, talented fight there. And it's got some good spots on the undercard, but I'm looking forward to seeing the cinematic approach to it and everything that they're talking about it's going to be. I think it's going to be a lot different than most cards we're used to. So yeah, I'm interested.
It's interesting. I know a little tidbits. I don't know everything. Obviously, Anik didn't reveal everything to me, but he has told me like it's a movie, dude. It's gonna be special. And when you render video. So they had to buy all special cameras and everything to film this because, like, most things are filmed in 1080p, 1080i, whatever, some 4K. The Sphere is like 12K. So most video, like for me, when I film this video, this is in 1080p, right? When I film this video, I download it. It takes a couple minutes, boom. Videos in the Sphere that they've made for this show takes 12 days to render. 12 fucking days to render, which is crazy. And they've been doing this. They've been prepping this since early July. A lot of the photo shoots were done in July and everything. So that's why they had to keep the card only 10 because they're spending so much money, music rights, whatever. Either way, it's gonna be fucking epic. I think it's gonna be awesome. It's pretty cool that it is a love letter to Mexican people. The Mexican MMA scene is just now starting to really bubble. Before there was kind of non-existent, but they have a long history of warriors and boxers. And I mean, you're never going to doubt a Mexican fighter's heart, chin, whatever. I mean, it's just born and bred into them. I just wish the tickets weren't so goddamn expensive so I could have went. But
it's interesting too that Canelo's fighting on the same night.
So I don't know if you know this. Last thing before we get to the first fight, MGM, who owns T-Mobile Arena as well, kind of fucked Dana. Dana put in for that date, and they went, "Nah, we're giving it to Canelo." And Dana's like, "Well, what the fuck? We had this long history relationship." So Dana kind of did the Sphere out of spite a little bit. And he goes, "Listen, Canelo, their gate's gonna make 20 million. We're making 20 million. I love Canelo. It's nothing against him." It was more of a slight with MGM going, "What the fuck?" Because apparently the people at MGM, like, they're disrespecting the UFC all the time with dates and stuff like that. Dana did an interview a couple weeks ago about it. I found that interesting. MGM, T-Mobile Arena brings in, I know that's where the LA Knights play, but they bring in a ton of money for the UFC that's like UFC's home now. And they got disrespected a little bit like that. Lazy Bet said, "Is CC off winning the softball World Series?" He fucking better be, bro. This guy got stuck at work. He's not a 17-year safe driver like your boy. He had to hustle a little bit today, and he got stuck a little bit. So unfortunately, he is not here. Why is my phone just going off crazy? CC at work. He might pop him for a softball game. There you go. Trend cleared it up. All right, first fight of the night. Raul Rojas Jr. versus the scariest guy in the world, Aoriqileng, the Mongolian murderer. This is the pronunciation of the week. I'm so glad John did that. And I'm getting this out early, Timbo. Okay? I'm getting it out early. Rojas Jr. minus 850. I've seen him minus 1,000 at other places.
It's not mine, is it? Okay. Minus 950 is crazy, folks. If y'all can still hear me, I think that's insane. Can't hear you. Audio is undefeated. All right, they got me. I'll carry it on if need be. I'm going with Rosas either for the.
Do we got me? Am I back? Yeah. There we go. So if you have the over under 1.5 or a half tech difficulties, catch that ticket. So Rojas Jr. 1,000 at some places, minus 950 versus Aoriqileng 6.25. I'm gonna go real quick. This is my green hammer. First fight of the night, going green hammer. I don't know if I could play Rojas Jr. I don't know if I can play him straight up like that. That's a huge number, but I think his grappling advantage is crazy in this fight. Aoriqileng's a banger, likes to wrestle a little bit, but is too timid on the ground, uses strength as opposed to technique to get up. Rojas Jr., even though he's a young dude, he's pretty big for the division. I see him getting him down. I see him taking the neck. So the green hammer is Rojas Jr. by submission, minus 170. Minus 170. It wasn't up on DK about an hour ago. I got this from ESPN Bet. Minus 170. The bet has been placed. Cheweewees by submission. Rojas Jr. What we got?
I gotta at least sprinkle some on the Mongolian murderer.
That's good, dude.
Just like $5 or $10 on that.
$10 okay.
Trent Daddy made a very good point in the chat. You can't not minus 950 for a guy who's gassed out previously, not that long ago. Kid's only 19. He's incredibly talented. Mongolian murderer doesn't have the best takedown defense. He's not the most pressuring guy to really gas out Rojas like that, but he's got power, and he's a UFC vet. He's got 6 or 7 fights under his belt, but minus 950 is nuts. I won't play that anywhere. Minus 170 for sub. I'm surprised it's that good of a number.
Yeah, that was on ESPN Bet, and DK's got it up now at -185 according to Trend. It's
Even
a pretty
there,
good
though.
number. Yeah, it's a pretty good number. I thought it was going to be, before I made my green hammer, I thought it was going to be north of maybe 200, if I'm being honest with you. But I guess Rosas Jr. hasn't been super consistent in the octagon, and Aoriqileng is pretty tough. But no, I like the young kid. I saw him on the embeddeds. This guy, and listen, he's a fantastic fighter. He said he wants to retire at 25. He's got a plan. He's got the chewy things going. I'm happy for the kid. But he's ugly as sin, right? I mean, the guy is dog shit ugly. Let's just put it out there. But on embedded, he had a fucking chick with him.
Oh, no shit.
I love that. Good for him. And she's not like, she's a very pretty girl, but she's not like a fucking 10, right? She's not like dating him because of who he is.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So like she was like an average pretty girl. So good for Rosas Jr. Probably lost his virginity. I love it. Let's get some more wins in the octagon. You already won in the bedroom, bro. Right? You already got that bedroom win. Let's get some wins in the octagon. All right, next up, Edgar Chairez +190 versus Joshua Van -230. Woo! I love this fight. I love it for a lot of reasons. Timbo, I'll go with you. What do you think about these guys at 125 right now?
Tough fight, honestly. What'd you say the line was? My bad.
It is +190 for Edgar Chairez, and then Joshua Van is -230.
Interesting. I mean, I figured Van might be a small favorite, but he's going to just have to look out for the grappling, I think. But Van's striking is very crispy, and he puts on pressure. 8 strikes per minute is what I'm seeing landed. I don't see him getting a knockout here, but I like Van by decision. You probably get that at a plus number.
Nice. Yeah, see, I'm a big fan of Joshua Van. I'm a fan of Van, all right? He got humbled his last time out. He got knocked out by Charles Johnson. Charles Johnson is a vet, a very good fighter, and just was outworking and out-angling, and he's awkward. And I don't think Joshua Van thought he can get knocked out. He went there a little too confident and got put out. In a competitive fight, he was losing, but a competitive fight. I think that humbled him a little bit. This is a guy who was 10-1 going into that fight. He was a favorite. And I think he, was like, oh, I'm killing UFC right now. I think I'm good. And he ran into a vet that proved that he wasn't. So I think he's been humbled a little bit. I think he went back to the gym and he worked it out. Now, I love Van here. He's a slime ball candidate number 1. The only reservation I have, and I guess this is me playing devil advocate, even though I think the knockout woke him up, every young fighter I think has got to get humbled at some point. That humbled him, hopefully for sure. Or it just opened up a world of chin problems. But he's young enough that I don't think that's going to happen just yet. He's only been 10-2. He's 10-2, 12 fights in his MMA career. So I doubt the chin is an issue. It's not like an older fighter that got cracked and finally, turned that switch. I think this dude just got cracked by a better fighter that night. But I love his skills. I love his speed. There's times where he's a little hesitant in there and he's not as quick as I would want him to be with some of his finishing or some of his abilities in there, but that's a young fighter. So I like him a lot. Plus, Chairez, I think, is a little overrated. Yeah, he beat Lucindo, but Lucindo doesn't have a win in the UFC. You know what I mean? Like, this dude has some decent submissions. He's tough. He's good to put on a fight for the crowd. It's going to be an amazing fight, I think. I think this is going to be a fucking banger. These dudes are going to bang it out. But I just like Joshua Van a lot. I leaned on him a lot here, and I'm putting him in a slime ball parlay, baby, which we'll give at the end of the show. Joshua winning by decision +125. Decent number. I think he could get him out of there too. Chairez has been wobbled in a few fights, but he is tough in front of the Mexican people. Might not go out so easy. But Van by decision at plus money is a decent number. All right, next up, we got Jasmine Jauregui -500 versus Caitlin Souza +380. You know your boy knows chicks, right? Everyone shouts at me on the streets, hey, you know chicks. I'm making deliveries. Hey, BP knows chicks. That's never happened. That'd be cool if it did. This fight, I don't have a strong lean on. I think Souza's okay. I know she's a relatively inexperienced fighter in the UFC, but I think she's okay. Jauregui, though, besides the Denise Gomes fight, has looked really good. Fast hands, aggressive, has put on fights in the night, has a lot of talent, has a lot of upside. The numbers what's stopping me here, and she's gone up even more, minus 535.
Damn.
The numbers what's stopping me here, right? Female MMA and women's MMA can kind of go either way a lot of times. Big underdogs do cash in women's MMA. Close decision, split this, whatever the case. I'm going Jauregui here. I'm not going to slime her. I'm not going to really look at anything. I think I like her by decision. Possibly knockout, but maybe not. I'm really leaning decision by Jauregui. I just really would not like sorry, I got distracted. What did George say? I would out deliver you, my goat, Brian. Man, gang. I had an Amazon deliverer. We were on the same street, true story. And I'm sure George, you're a beast, right? But me and this guy were on the same street. We got out of our respective trucks together. I made 2 stops before he got one. I know, don't let this big husky body fool you. Your boy hustles. I should have worn my pin, Timbo. Should have pinned up my shirt, you know. Anyway, I like Jauregui. Timbo, what do you think about the chicks?
So pretty much unless it's very obvious, even I can't get my voice that loud. I can't get my voice that loud. I didn't expect him to be that big of a favorite, but I don't really know any of the lines. I just tried to do my capping without knowing it. And for this one, I thought it would be a much closer line. And I was going with, say her name again, Jauregui?
Jauregui. It starts with an H. Jauregui. This was the only reason I know this is this was a pronunciation of the week on Anik.
Yeah, I mean, with chick fights like this, Jauregui, I'm looking at who does the more pressure, because that's going to look better for the judges, and this is likely going to win, go to decision, like most kind of mid talent chick fights do. So who puts on the pressure? I think Jauregui definitely does that. Souza's obviously got submissions up her sleeve, but shouldn't be too hard to avoid those. So I see Trent's got in the chat. Jauregui by decision minus 175. I like that as a parlay fee. Yeah, I got to start. I kind of crushed last weekend. Honestly, I had a fucking 10-leg parlay, just throwing 5-10 parlays. But
was that NFL or just MMA?
Just MMA, just on the fight. Yeah, cool. I got to send it to you. I meant to send it to you on Saturday, but not for nothing big. But it was like $5 to win a pretty good amount. But anyways,
that's good.
Even like all the cards before this, though, like the first 6 fights, I've been on a fucking roll. Yeah. And then I get fucked over in the end fight. So I think I'm gonna put like a early prelim parlay together. Nice. And obviously Rojas submission, Van, and then Jauregui right here by decision. I think that'll be good.
I love it. I love it.
Be a good number.
You're not a Twitter guy, and you're not on socials as much anymore. But if you want to send that to me, I'll tweet it out. Timbo Slice little prelim parlay action.
All right.
Let the people know what's going on.
Hell
Lazy Ben, who is an A+ commenter, he comments on the Anakin Florian. Everything's gold with him. He's an Ohio guy, which I didn't know. If I ever see you in the streets, I'm calling you Pick'em Petrie. I'm trying to get that started and shouting he knows chicks. Thank you, Lazy Ben. That'd be very important to me. Trent says, when I see a female MMA line like this, I have to take a long look at the dog. This isn't a dog I'm going to swing at yet, but the line is getting silly. Yeah, the line is getting silly. The upside in Jauregui obviously is huge. Souza, again, relatively unknown. Does she have skills? Of course, but I don't know if it's to the level of Jauregui. But there's still some questions to be said about Jauregui as well. And when you're giving me a young fighter like her at this enormous line, there's really nothing I can do with it besides play some props on it. Jump in the old prop pool. All right, next up. We got Manuel Torres, minus 118. This line's moving all over the place. Versus Ignacio Bahamondes. Minus 102. The sexiest name in MMA. Ignacio Bahamondes. If my name, I did very well with the ladies growing up. I've never been afraid of rejection. I'm always like, you know what? Take a swing at the plate. And I did very well, surprisingly, right? I married a beautiful woman, yada, yada. But if my name was Ignacio Bahamondes growing up, I would literally have fucked every chick in the world, right? If your name's Ignacio, you pull up at the bar and you look over at them, can I buy you a drink? And they're like, yeah, what's your name? Ignacio Bahamondes. And we're fucking on the bar, guaranteed it. We're just fucking right in the bar. This guy, sexy name. And he's got some skills. He's got some real skills. I think he's a little more polished than Manuel Torres. Manuel Torres is on a heater right now. He's got big power. He's proven to be very good everywhere. But I think Bahamondes has been in the wars. I think he's been in the shit, right? He's plus money. He's plus money right now at plus 110, which I love. And I don't have any dogs yet, so I'm gonna take a shot on the dog and Ignacio Bahamondes. Torres has big power. Ignacio got knocked around a little bit by John Medexi, but I think that was a learning experience. He's been a little uneven. The Ludovic Klein fight, I think he went in there expecting a striking battle. He got taken down a lot. Manuel Torres is a pretty thick kid for this division, but Bahamondes is long, rangy, has the better technique, and his training with Bilal Muhammad, which I think is going to help him here. He sees Bilal work. Bilal's cardio, pressure, everything's unbelievable. That's got to rub off on a guy like Bahamondes, who is very close to Bilal. Bilal will be in his corner, I believe, or at least in Vegas. So yeah, give me Bahamondes at the plus money. It makes me a little nervous, but I do like Bahamondes, even though, I mean, I know I get obsessed with his name, but he's a decent little fighter in Bahamondes. Timbo, what do you like, bub?
Before you just went on that, I like Torres, but seeing that plus number beside Bahamondes, slight reach advantage, I think Torres will probably look to get this to the ground despite having the knockouts that he has. Mm-hmm. Bahamondes has never been knocked out. He's been finished a couple of times by submission in his career, but he's never been knocked out. I'd say for the sake of the pod, though, and just my original lean, I'm going to go with Torres here.
All right.
At the minus 130.
This was a pick'em earlier this week, and people are starting to really like Manuel Torres here. George says in the chat, I like them both, but I got to go with a fellow Mexican. I think the fighting in front of this crowd on this day for a Mexican fighter who, again, we talked about it earlier in the podcast, they already are born with enormous hearts and chins and toughness, and boom, now you're fighting on this crazy day in this movie, right? Like no one else is going to be able to do this. They're coming out swinging. I almost put a Mexican parlay together.
I was just about to say that.
Some of the Mexican fighters. I might still do that. I just haven't got there yet. But yeah, Manuel Torres is not a bad pick at all. And I'm glad you went opposite for the sake of the podcast, because now that could be the cider right there for the strap.
Sure could.
That could be the cider for the strap. Speaking of that, who won the last week? Because the last podcast I did for the pay-per-view was with Evan Longoria. He beat me. So technically he's the champ. But all three of us who won, was it me or did you win?
Last time me, you, and Christian did it, you won. And then I think you and Christian did it without me, and I think you won again.
Yeah, no, I know.
Pretty sure you smoked him.
When it was me and Christian and I head-to-head, I killed the guy. He lost sleep over it. And then Evan Longoria beat me last time out. That guy's just sharp. All right, next up, Irene Aldana, minus 120 versus Big Norma Dumont. Listen, I don't know if you've seen the clips on social media or if you watched the Anik and Florian show. I dropped a Big Norm, which I did not create, by the way. I did not. I think I've heard it or seen it through Twitter sphere. It wasn't like an original thought I had. I opened with Big Norm, and John and Kenny lost it. John ripped his headphones off and was crying. We're breaking down 3 fights later. He's still bringing up Big Norm. And his thought process goes, I hear this. It's great. How am I not going to say it on air when she wins, or if she wins, go Big Norm? You know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
And then I'm like, well, yeah, but it's not, you know, because I mean, she is a thicker woman. She weighs 135 pounds. She's not a big gal at all, but she is thicker. She's got some legs and some ass on her. But yeah, I hit her with the Big Norm, and it was funny. Everyone went nuts. I swear it was an off the cuff comment, and they lost it. It was, and they shared the clip today on social media, and it's going everywhere. But yeah, I don't know if they think I've heard it directly from anybody else, but I know I've seen it somewhere on Twitter or whatever. Again, I'm not going to take credit for Big Norm. Like I wasn't the originator for that, but I did drop it on the Anik and Florian podcast, so I will take credit for that. All right, Timbo, we'll leave with you with the chicks. Very close line, minus 115, minus 105. Aldana, you know, shit the bed when she fought for the title. Big Norm on a nice little run here. Who do you got?
My goodness, she's driving a dump truck.
Yeah, Laura Sanko said that. Yeah, Laura Sanko did say that.
This fight is going to decision. You know, these chicks' average fight time is 14 minutes and 50 seconds. So I'm pretty sure this one's going to decision.
Yeah.
Aldana's like she's got to be pretty old now. She's 36.
Is that how she is?
Isn't. Yeah, she's born in 88, so 36. Norma looked good against GDR, but GDR had that long layoff. But that really impressed me.
And we're talking about old. GDR's like a grandma. You know, she's like 54,
up there too.
I think.
I've been leaning Dumont going into this fight. I think Aldana, like what I'm contradicting what I just said when I said fights that go to decision, go for the pressure fighter. That's Aldana. She's going to bring the pressure, but I think Norma can get her down and neutralize that pressure. Probably not be the most funnest fight, unfortunately, but get some takedown control. As long as she's active on the ground, I think Dumont can really squeak out a decision win here. Love maybe Dumont by split decision too, especially because it's in Mexico and they're going to be wanting Aldana to win. But I like Norma Dumont.
It's
here.
in Vegas, but it's a Mexico.
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yes, you're picking Dumont, right?
Big Norm.
Okay.
Big Norm.
Jordan Bryan had a comment earlier. Let's fucking go. Pick and Petrie, the turn of the Timbo show. Let's cash some bets, boys. Big weekend full of fights, action all over the place. Take the kids to the grandparents and lock the fuck in. Or F
yes,
in.
sir.
He didn't say F. He didn't say, and then some emojis. Thank you, Jordan Bryan. 100% right. So I picked Aldana on the show. I think she's the more skilled fighter. She has a great armbar for back. Kind of a one-trick pony with that. The armbar, if it's not there, she's not going to get anything. Striking's lethal. But since the title fight, she hasn't looked great. She's throwing a lot of strikes, but the kicks in the boxing's not there. That's what she comes from. And Norma Dumont, again, big Norm, not like, she's not going to be a finisher. She's not going to be, but she'll be in your face, and she's going to kind of slowly lull you into her pace. I think Aldana is the superior fighter. I think she's more skilled, and I took her on the Anakin Florian. However, switching my pick because I'm trying to read the signs. I dropped a big Norm. People laughed. I'm getting it shared on social media. This is a close fight. I gotta go with big Norm then, right? I mean, if you know what I mean. If this is that little comment's getting attention, I gotta shift to the old big Norm. I'm going big Norm by decision. I don't think I'll take her any other way but by decision. I think that's how I'll play that. I think she's just going to drown Aldana. And again, Aldana could catch her with something, with a kick, with a punch, or whatever. She's very dangerous. But again, we just haven't seen it. I think her goal was to fight for the title, and she got that and lost. And now I think she's just kind of fighting that happens sometimes. When you reach the mountaintop, you don't get it. It might take you a second to kind of recharge that up. But I like Big Norm here. All right, we're moving on. Next up, this is the main card, by the way. So that was all the prelims. Main card time. This is a weird fight to be in the main card, in my opinion. I thought Rosas Jr. should be on this spot. Ronaldo Rodriguez, -130 versus Osbourne, +110. 125 pounders. I want to say love. Norma Dumont, hold on, sorry, breaking my thought. By decision is +130. Surprising to me. Add it to my card. Okay, I'm going to bet that right now when I give the show. I'm going to write that down in my little, I won't do it right now, waste everyone's time. I'm going to remember that and keep that for later. All right, Osbourne, I thought, is very flowy on the feet. His striking's very good. He has some decent power for 125er. Everyone that trains with him says this dude's awesome, right? I saw him on the embeddeds. He looks like a great dude, right? He knows the magnitude of the spot. And Rodriguez is a guy who lost to Jerome Rivera on the Contender Series. This guy did not win the UFC. He gets knocked out every 5 fucking seconds. And that's just a bad loss. He rebounded well. And he went out and he got better. His hands are looking a little crispier, but he's good on the ground. He's not like this world specialist, but if you get your back, I'll take it. Osbourne's 0-2, his last two because of submissions. He got rear naked choke in his last two. And when he's on the ground, Kenny Florian and I talked about this. When he's on the ground, there's no technique. There's no, let me fight the hands. Let me protect my neck. I know how to wrestle because he comes from a wrestling background. Let me just try to get up. And that doesn't work when a guy has your back or is good at jiu-jitsu. And Rodriguez is both of those. So even though I don't think this guy should be on the main card, I think it should be Rosas Jr. And, he won his UFC debut against Dennis Bonder by submission. I'm going to go Rodriguez here. And since it is a thin card and we're looking for, Mexicans, I took Joshua Van, who is not Mexican, but here's my first Mexican pick. It's the slime ball for Rodriguez. I don't love doing it, But when you're giving me huge chunk numbers, and every time I throw a fucking plus money in the parlay, it loses. We haven't won in a couple weeks. I need to get a win. I think Rodriguez is going to submit Ode Osbourne. That was almost the green hammer as well. Rodriguez by submission as well. So give me Ronaldo Rodriguez. Timbo, you kind of did a little what when I said my slime ball. You hate it? You love it?
It's going to be a sexy slime ball number for sure. With,
it isn't that sexy.
Well, there was a couple weeks, brother. You were like at plus 130, plus 135 for the slime ball. And as long as it hits, I'm happy because you know I'm riding it. But I think this is going to be at least like plus 350 bare minimum, especially just with the 2 picks you got now. Jesus Christ.
It's over 200.
Okay.
It's over 200, but it's not I'll run the numbers again, but yeah, it's plus what am I fucking hiding it for? It's plus 244.
Okay.
Is what it is. Yeah.
Because you got a minus 180 right here, and then a minus 140 with the.
No, I got minus 230 with Van.
Oh, okay.
And then a minus 148 with Rodriguez. And then
the green hammer. I'm tripping. I was thinking. Chiwi was part of the. Okay.
Chiwi-wees. We got you.
Yeah, this. I like that plus 300. This card,
gorgeous. I have it on screen so I can remember it. Yeah.
These guys should be licking Dana's boots for allowing them to get this opportunity, man. Because this is crazy while they're on this main card of this high profile of an event.
Mm-hmm.
I think the only disadvantage Rodriguez has in this is the 8-inch reach advantage that Ode Osbourne has, and just get in tight. Don't let him utilize his reach. Try to take him down. Try to get the submission. He's got more power than him. If he gets him down, I think he should be good to go. So that minus 130 number, I'm not complaining about that for the slime, and this plus 300 number I think is really good.
Yeah. And Jerome Rivera, again, this is a prove it for Rodriguez. Lost the Contender Series many years ago to Jerome Rivera, who's a longer striker, kind of like Ode Osbourne. He did not look good in that fight. He has since looked pretty good. He's training better. He looks better on the mitts, which you can only say so much. So this is the UFC going, all right, kid, you beat Dennis Bonner, cool. Not a striker. We're to give you what was your kryptonite before. Let's see if you show up. Because if he doesn't, Noda is a good fighter, but if he doesn't get past Ode Osbourne, then I'm writing this guy off for sure.
I mean, is the pool of Mexican fighters this small? Where this guy gets this opportunity?
It's thin. I mean, listen, he had some good wins on the regional scene. It's still growing for sure. I think the pool of maybe 125ers is a little thin because this is a flyweight fight, But yeah, it's a little thin. But the Grasso's gym is blowing up in Mexico, and Brandon Moreno was doing a lot of good things in Baja, California, which is on the border of California, Mexico. But yeah, they're gonna be showing up, I think, in a couple years. But yeah, right now for putting on this card, I mean, they don't even have a Mexican main event. I mean, Moreno would have been on. I love the main event, but it's not there's no Mexican in the main event. So, this isn't, if Cain Velasquez was still fighting, he would have been in the main event probably. But all right, Daniel Zellhuber, minus 250, which I know is gone up, versus Esteban Ribovics, plus 205. Ronaldo Rodriguez apparently is a big star in Mexico, per Danny Segura. There you go. Big star in Mexico. That's why he's on the main card. Thank you for that, Lazy Bed. My casual ass dad been showing me Lazy Boy content all week, telling me he can't wait. I guess Dana did get the Mexican crowd. There we go. So we're maybe ill-informed. Maybe listen, the UFC knows what they're doing. I just thought you always want to kick the card off with someone big, get the crowd going. Rosas Jr., I was there when he fought in Vegas, right? Like 2 years ago in December. And that motherfucker place went nuts for him. The only person that got louder pop was Patty Pimlet, right? That's when he fought Jared Gordon. But this dude got a huge pop. And then he's like talking about how he wants to buy his mom a minivan, and and now he's got the Chiweeby. So this is going to maybe set the tone. Again, I'm not going to doubt the UFC, but I just thought maybe he'd be in the main card. So Zellhuber minus 230 versus Esteban Ribovics plus 190. Ribovics coming off a huge knockout over Terrence McKinney. Great head kick, slapped the dude. And Zellhuber coming off a nice submission win. Zellhuber seems like he's got a lot of hype right now. Timbo, take it away. What do you like in this, 155? 155-pound matchup.
I think you touched on it last week where there was another fighter who had similar stats, but a knockout of Terrence McKinney in the first round isn't that impressive to me. And I think he's awesome and he's explosive, but he puts himself out there and he's either going to knock you out in the first round or get knocked out in the first round. With that said, I think this is a really good number for Esteban here, to be honest with you.
Okay.
You know, I think he'll need a finish, I believe, and he has the power to do that. And he's pretty crafty on the ground as well. I don't see this fight going to the ground. But I think at 2-1 here, I think Zellhuber's a little inflated. And I think it's a good shot to take on Ribovics, maybe inside the distance. Zellhuber is good, but he's young. He's gonna have to take one of these learning lessons. So give me Ribovics here. I like him at this dog price.
Yeah, the number is a little surprising. It's come down actually. Before I said the number, I thought it went up. He was originally minus 250. Now he's 230. So the numbers come down. People like you were seeing the advantage of Ribovics, who again is a very talented fighter, good striker, a little awkward on the feet, which is usually a good thing for fighters. The timing's a little off. Decent on the ground, tough as nails. The guy's fucking tough. But normally, because you're a sharp dude, I mean, you've won more of these than I have, right? Like a head-to-head or even with Christian involved, you've been champ longer than anybody. So you're a sharp guy. You make money. And normally, if you pick a dog like this, I'm like, I'm going to ride with my guy Timbo. But I am so strong on the other side on Zellhuber, dude. I mean, I know we're going to wait till the end. Since you picked opposite, I'm going mortal lock right now. Daniel Zellhuber, I like this kid a lot. He laid a complete fucking egg against Trey Ogden, wouldn't let it go, and a fight that he could have won because they stood up. Great stand-up, seems like a good kid, could be a star in Mexico, handsome, speaks English, and is very talented, right? Has a good look about him, and is incredibly talented. Coming off a submission win when he was known for a striker. This is going to be a striker delight. If it hits the ground, I think Zellhuber is going to be the better one there. And I just like Zellhuber just cleaner in this fight. Ribovics, tough dude. But I think he's going to get knocked around. I think it's going to be bloody, and I think Zellhuber's going to get it done. Give me Zellhuber at minus 230. And that's the slime ball candidate number 3. So we'll give you the slime ball right now since we've been talking about it. It is Daniel Zellhuber, Ronaldo, Rodriguez, and Joshua Van. This is the Viva La Almost parlay because it was almost all Mexicans, and Joshua Van sweeps in, and we don't get a clean sweep on the Mexican fighter. So Viva La Almost, Zellhuber, Rodriguez, Van, and Trent's got it right now. I placed this earlier today, and I got like maybe at 4 Eastern time. I got it at plus 244. It's now plus 241. So the current line for the slime ball parlay is plus 241. But yeah, I'm all in on Zellhuber. I think Timbo, we might have to do a little side cash bet, my guy.
I'm gonna need that plus number on this. It's gonna be straight up.
All right, how about Zellhuber wins? I get 20, and if Ribovics wins, you get 40.
Run it. Yeah, that's fair.
Yes, run it. Run it.
Run that shit.
All right. Next up, we got Brow. God, I love this fucking fight, bro. Brian Ortega plus 150 versus Diego Lopes minus 180. Bro, I love this fight. I've been a believer in Brian Ortega for a while. I picked him against Volkanovski. I picked him against Max Holloway, right? Obviously, I'm wrong on those. I'm high on Brian Ortega. And then I kind of cooled on him. But now he's kind of back to reality because he was a little bit of a party boy. I think he was playing with some stuff that he shouldn't have been playing with outside the UFC. He's now married. He plays video games all day. You know, he's a father of children. And he's way more focused than I've ever seen him. The match with Yair Rodriguez, where he lost the first time with the shoulder thing, then came back, and he gets knocked around a little bit, and then he somehow wins all the time. That's kind of his thing. He starts slow and then he wins. His grappling, his submissions are top notch. His striking is getting better. He does have a good jab. His chin is one of the best in the division. I love Brian Ortega. I'm usually on the Ortega side. And on the flip side, I've been a little slow on Diego Lopes. This guy's been nothing but great. He lost one fight against Mozart Evlov. He lost in the Contender Series to Joannis and Brito, but he didn't get knocked out. Brito's knocking everyone out. He didn't get knocked out, but he lost that fight. And I think that Contender Series fight was burning my brain because I never got on the Diego Lopes train. This dude took a fight on 4 hours notice against Dan Ige. Dan Ige got all the props, but let's give Lopes some props too, because that's pretty fucking ballsy, right? He's at that Grasso camp in Mexico. I know they cross-train in Vegas as well. And he apparently is lights out on the ground. I asked Kenny personally who he thinks is the better at jiu-jitsu on the ground because I'm not a jiu-jitsu mind like that. I only see what I see, but technique-wise, who's better? He says it's Ortega head and shoulders. It's not like Lopes is bad, but Ortega's special. Lopes, in my opinion, has got to keep it on the feet, even though every fight he does, he likes to mix it to the ground. So I'm taking Diego Lopes, and the reason I didn't slime him up is I'm going to pick him, but come fight night, there might be a little part of me that takes Ortega by submission. His guillotine's nasty. His triangle's nasty. Things are nasty in this guy. But I believe in Diego Lopes now. I hardly pick against Brian Ortega, which might be a good thing. Because when I pick him, he fucking loses. When I don't pick him, maybe he wins. So maybe fade your boy in this one. But Diego Lopes with the hair, he looks like fucking Patrick Swayze. He's my favorite actor. And he's a star. And he's an absolute fucking stud for taking these fights. I mean, he originally was supposed to fight Brian Ortega, took it on short notice, took that fight on short notice, and then Ortega got sick, and then he took the Ige. Like, this guy is just next level tough. But it's hard for me to pick against Brian Ortega. Brian Ortega by submission plus 750. Yeah, I'm gonna play with that. I'm gonna play with that. You know what I mean? I'm gonna fucking play with that. All right, Timbo, what do you got? Who do you like in this fight?
Two things from the chat. That Ortega by sub at plus 750 is juicy as fuck.
100%.
That's like almost got to take that. Yeah. Also, shout out to Lafayette Math, made a good point. If that same third round Diego who showed up against Ige comes out, Ortega just got fucking mollywopped by Yair and then came through in the third round.
Yep. Great point by Lafayette Math there. Lafayette, Louisiana, hopefully stand up. Oh, Bayou boy.
When this
I love the Louisiana accent, by the way. Go ahead.
Even when this fight was supposed to happen a couple, month or so ago when Ige stepped up.
Yeah.
I was all over Lopes. And I still pretty much am, but like Ortega's really only lost to the best featherweights of all time in Max and Volk. Yeah. I know he got injured against Yair, but like he's only lost against those two guys. Lopes, I mean, I love Ige to death. I think he's awesome, but like, okay, that's your best win. And Ige is not really known for, he's just known for being a dog and it's tough.
You want your belt back or what? What's up, man?
No, I got to go Diego Lopes, man. I think Ortega kind of missed his shot, and he's had two title shots, and he got beat the shit out of him, both of them. I know he had a close moment against Volk, almost got the sub, but other than that, he got beat the shit out of.
Yeah.
And I think Diego is just younger and hungrier. Ortega's got his money. He's headline fights. He's had title shots, and Lopes is fucking hungry for it. But that third round comes around, man. Might be time for a live bet, and I'm assuming Ortega would be down on the round. So
sure,
yeah, give me Lopes. But like I said, a third round live bet for Ortega doesn't sound too bad of an idea.
I'm thinking the same thing. I mean, Brian Ortega is tough to finish, right? I mean, really the only one that was Max, right? Like Max, like he just had too much beating, or did he go 5 rounds with Max? I can't remember.
I think he went 5 rounds with Max, and then it was doctor stoppage versus Volk. I'm pretty positive.
There you go. All right, yeah, he gets beat up, but he doesn't quit, right? I love the Herb Dean meme where like the ref comes in, his eyes are all fucked up. Ref's like, how many am I holding up? And Ortega's like 1 or 2, and Herb's like, he's fine. Yeah, Ortega's a dog, and that's such a good point by Lafayette Math is I mean, I brought that up a little bit on the Anik, but I forgot I said it. He lost the third round to Ige. Lopes did, right? So that's where Ortega starts fighting. That's where Ortega's like, oh, it's a fight now. Sure, you won 1 or 2. We're in 3 now. And I think he's in a different place conditioning and mentally as well.
I wish this was 5 rounds.
5
rounds would be different.
So dope. It would be different. And but I just love this fight. Super high level featherweight fight. Oh, can't wait. Hopefully no weight mishaps on Ortega's side. I mean, Lopes won't miss weight, but hopefully no, healthy Ortega gets in there and wins. Oh yeah, here we go. He's from Lafayette, Louisiana, home of the Diamond. Ortega by round sub. Nice, bro. I watched Caged on MTV, and it was about amateur MMAs from Louisiana. I don't know if it was Lafayette, but it was MMA from Louisiana. It was on MTV back in the day. Matt Schnell was on it. Some dude named Wes who fought Dustin Poirier as an amateur and got his ass kicked. And then some big heavyweight blonde dude, but it was about them like banging broads and like trying to be cage fighters. I think it only lasted like a season or 2. But
living the dream.
Yeah, living the dream. All right, next up, co-main event, Alexa Grasso minus 122 versus Valentina Shevchenko, plus 102. Tim, I'm going to let you lead because there was a text that was sent yesterday, and let's see if you're still feeling that way, bruh. Rematch, triple, quad, or try. This is the third time they have fought. Grasso won by submission. Then they had a split draw. So there's the updated line right there. Grasso minus 135. Shevchenko plus 114.
It's moved
All
against
right,
Shevchenko. Wow.
All right, brother. You sent me a fiery text.
Oh, yeah. I'm fired up for this one, man.
There we go. Tell me what you think.
Or we're going to get fucking Figgy Moreno situation where they're going to fight for a fourth time. And then Shevchenko's going to beat her the third time and then the fourth time as well. Shevchenko was she was winning that fight relatively easy in their last fight until she made that mistake. And,
that was the first fight.
No, even the last fight, she did the same thing, though. I know she got finished in the first fight, but even the last fight, she gave up her back and got beat up on the ground. Yeah. And, you just can't do that. And she did it twice. I mean, chances of her doing it a third time are probably pretty good, but I just think she's much more talented. I think Grasso's got the grit. She's younger, probably better on the ground. I'll even give her that, but Shevchenko is a wizard on the feet. Grasso, for as long as she's been in the cage with Shevchenko and to not been caught by one of them kicks or just been rocked really at all, I think she's due. Mm-hmm. And I think Shevchenko's hungry. This is a legacy fight for her. Not that it wasn't the last two fights, which, she drew the last one, which I thought she won. Mm-hmm. But yeah, Shevchenko here, man, she's not – people are saying she's old. Not really. She's 36. She's in excellent shape. She hasn't taken a bunch of punishment throughout her career. She's been blasting through everybody. Mm-hmm. So, I love the plus number here on Shevchenko.
I love it.
Especially because it's late in the night, man. Hopefully I'm not getting beat up, but if I am,
sure.
The saving grace is going to be Shevchenko money line.
Right. I love your breakdown there. This Bo Nichols shirt is Curtis of Tatum Temple. We had a bet a few months ago, and the bet was if I win, you buy me a shirt. If you win, I buy you a shirt. Your boy won. Got the Bo Nickel. Bo knows. Love this fight. I love when they tie a trilogy together. You're right. They're probably going to fight a fourth time, unfortunately, but I love a good trilogy fight. There's not many in MMA. Grasso was losing the first fight, I think, competitively, but got the back choked her out. Second fight, it was close. Obviously, split decision draw or split draw, whatever they called it. I don't think I would disagree with that much. It was a very close fight. I like Grasso here. She's unflappable. That's the word I use on the Anakin Florian. This girl is so calm and careless. I think she's working on the time away on her wrestling, on her defense, because Shevchenko landed 4 takedowns in each of their fights. Grasso doesn't do her best work off her back. She does her best work when she's on top. Shevchenko is a motherfucker to take down. Problem is, Shevchenko is a bit stiff in the striking. Her hands aren't great moving back. She's only good with her hands when she blitzes. Her kicks are the money. But Grasso comes from a boxing background with that pressure. She's going to make Shevchenko box. If Shevchenko got hurt and dropped her last time out, and I think that's what's going to happen here. If Shevchenko held that belt for a long time, is that fire, is that inner belly still there to get that strap back? Because Grasso just seems like she's going out there and fighting and is I can beat this girl. She's confident. I believe in her confidence. This was almost a slime candidate, but because your boy knows chicks, but it's not. I gave the slime ball out. But I like Grasso here. This is going to be probably a unit and a half bet for your boy in real life. I put $300 fake dollars on her on the Anakin Florian podcast, but in real life, I'm going to put 150 on her. I like the low number. Don't do it. But it's going to be interesting. One of us is going to walk away. Very happy Saturday, Timbo. All right, main event. God damn, I love this fight. Sean O'Malley, Sugar, minus 130 versus Merab Dvalishvili. The Machine, Merab, plus 110. For whatever reason, and I'm a Sugar fan, right? I'm a Sugar Sean O'Malley fan, Timbo. You know that. I've been banging that drum for a while. I'm not a fair weather fan with him. I've always just loved his skill, his mindset for the game. I think Tim Welch is a really underrated coach. And Merab is or kind of was a Longo guy. He trains out at John Wooden now. Longo still might be in his corner. He started his career in Long Island, but he moved his camp and he lives in Vegas now. So I'm not really sure whose corner going to be. I know a lot of people. I picked obviously Sugar on the Annika Florian show. I got a little DMs like, "Oh, Longo's gonna be mad at you." I know Merab is Longo's guy, but I don't know if he's good, if he's chief corner, if he has any input on the camp. Because I know Longo's not out in Vegas. This fight is so good. It's Merab who isn't going to submit you. He's not. He's going to take you down and beat you up. He has no submissions. O'Malley can get up recklessly if he wants to give his back up. It's not Aljo. You can recklessly get up because Sugar's going to get taken down. And Sugar, I think, has underrated jiu-jitsu. He grappled on one of those grappling tournaments in UFC. He did fairly well for himself. He comes from a jiu-jitsu camp, actually. His striking obviously gets it done. But I think all you got to do is just get up on Merab. Merab's going to take you down, get up. But Merab's going to have to walk through some fire to get that taken down. Sugar Sean O'Malley, 5'11", tall as fuck, long as fuck, super fast, timing impeccable, powerful, and that's how he wins fights. That's how he stops people. You know, Ray Longo said it best. Merab's going to have to take some punches in this fight. Merab gets wobbled. Marlon Moraes had Merab dead multiple times. Couldn't get the job done. I think if Sugar connects with a knee, with something explosive, I think he's putting Merab out. I like Sugar big here, of course. I like him by knockout. And I think Merab is very good at what he does, but all he does is beat you with pace and toughness and some wrestling. He didn't take Jose Aldo down once. He just pinned him against the cage and beat him up. Bilal Muhammad gets all this shit for not finishing people. Bilal doesn't finish anybody. Bilal is obviously this very goofy personality that everyone loves, but why is Bilal getting shit and Merab's not? Merab, he doesn't finish anybody either. He finished Marlon Moraes. Who hasn't finished Moraes? Right. If I check my record, I might have finished the fucking guy. I don't know. But I love Sugar Sean O'Malley in this spot. I like him by knockout. I'm playing both those, money line and knockout. I might even do a same game parlay, mix them in there with some strikes and stuff. I think this is going to be exciting for how it goes. With all that being said about me being confident, being knockout, blah, blah, blah. Come midway through the third round, if the fight's still going on, Merab wins this fight. I don't see Sean winning a decision. I don't know how he could unless he 10-8s him in those first two rounds and Merab is just a machine and just keeps standing up, getting dropped or whatever. But Merab wins the decision, I think. Sean has to finish him. Give me Sean O'Malley. Let's fucking go. Timbo.
Two things. Actually, three.
Yeah.
First and foremost, shout out to the chat, man. Once upon a time, we did this podcast and there was fucking barely anybody in there. Just,
your chick, Ashley, was in there.
Yeah.
And then Trin was been around for a while. Kieran for a while. Tatum, who's on the West Coast, she'd pop in when she could. But yeah, the chat, unbelievable. Everyone that has subbed, unbelievable. Thank you for pointing that out, Timbo.
I'm learning a lot from these guys. I'm getting really good plays from these guys. So number one,
they're all sharp.
I think a fucking can't miss bet is those alternate methods of victory, and you've got Sean O'Malley by KO and Merab by decision. I don't see how it doesn't end up that way.
It's a great point.
And it's probably fucking minus 300, I would assume, because
put a G bar on it and be like, what's up? Yeah.
Those are the two most obvious. I don't think there's anything else aside from our boy Justin Chewy, man. Justin here. I'm assuming that's O'Malley by sub. Who did he submit in some grappling tournament? And it's like a pretty well-known guy.
Gomi. He submitted Takanara
Gomi. Okay.
And then he lost who did he lose to after that? He lost to some. I don't want to open Tapology because I crashed my computer. But yeah, he lost to somebody after that. What you just said, the play is Sean O'Malley win by KO or Merab at minus 340. I'm not scared of that. That's it. Fucking Rojas Jr. is minus 950. Give me that line. That's more of a lock than Rojas Jr. in my opinion.
Yeah, agree.
I'll play some money on that or parlay it. Let's go.
With that said, I'm going against you here again, man.
Yeah.
I think Merab is
big fucking surprise.
I know, right? But and honestly, I used to hate on O'Malley, and I laughed when he got knocked out or whatever happened against Cheeto. But I've actually come around on him. I think he's funny as shit. I think he's
really, me too. Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
really dedicated. And
wait, you're talking about Sean or
Sean?
Merab?
Yeah,
okay.
Sean.
Sorry, I thought you were talking about Merab.
Yeah.
Merab is very funny. Sean had a great. Sorry to interrupt. Sean had a great line. He was on that Bobby Altonoff's podcast. She does like a awkward podcast, and he goes, "Hey, what's going on? Sorry, I'm cutting weight. I'm usually 6'3". She goes, "You're cutting height?" And he goes, "Yeah, it's part of the process." That's a funny line. All right, go ahead. Sorry, Tim.
He is funny though. He's funny as shit.
Yeah.
Like I laugh at his Instagram pretty much constantly, and he's good for the sport, honestly. And Merab's funny too. But when it comes down to fighting though, like there's just more of a chance of Merab just holding him throughout the fight than there is for Sean O'Malley connecting as solid as fucking possible. I just think the line is off here. I mean, Merab, if he gets hit with one of those, sugar kicks or just a solid punch that Aljo ate, he's going to be hurting. And there's a good chance that happens. But I like more so just for Merab to just go crazy with takedowns, spam takedowns for 25 minutes and get a decision. And that's unfortunate because no one wants to see that. I want to see action, but
yeah,
I just think Merab, the machine nickname is legit.
Yeah,
and,
it's one of the better, more truthful nicknames in MMA for sure.
For sure. So give me Merab here, but I wouldn't be upset if Sugar won.
Yeah, it's such the reason I find this so interesting is I think both guys are a bad matchup for each other. Merab isn't the biggest guy for 135. When he first fought in UFC, he sized up a little bit. When he first came over, I thought he was going to go to 125, right? And Sean's big and long for the division. So that's going to be the problem for Merab. And then Sean has never fought anybody like Merab, like the wrestler, like the grappler. But again, I just really believe in Tim Welch's game plan in his mind and Sean knowing what he needs to get done. And I just see them, especially in the first 2 rounds, having something for this guy. And if Merab can take all that and then still push through, it's going to be highly impressive. There's not many people Sean's fought that he hasn't put down and obviously put out. I mean, Pedro Munoz is like really the only, and Cheeto, the first fight, and Pedro Munoz, where it ended with a weird eye poke or a groin kick, or whatever. Those are the only 2 fights where he did it, and then he fucking didn't put Cheeto down the last time with that knee, but goddamn, that would have knocked anybody out. But I love the fight. I love a lot of people. There's 2-way action on this fight, and I love it. I can't wait. All right, that's the entire card. 10 fights. We're at 56 minutes. Beautiful. So, Timbo, I already gave you my mortal lock. So, I start first, right, because I'm the champ. My mortal lock's Daniel Zellhuber. I gave it earlier. That's my mortal lock. Timbo, give me your mortal lock, babe.
I'm not gonna be pussy on this. I'm gonna take I've got some fucking dogs barking first and foremost, but
yeah, you got a dog card, bub.
Give me shit. I'm not gonna take Rojas.
I think there's only one person you could take as your dog lock, or excuse me, as your mortal lock, and she's got a plus money next to her name.
Yeah. So give me old Val.
Yeah,
I'm confident in this shit, man. I'm confident. I believe.
That's what I'm saying.
I believe.
You don't text me much with plays. But when you text me and it was early, and you're like, "Yo, she's at plus money." Fuck yeah. Go with your gut. I love that. I love the instincts. All right, dog lock. I'll let you pick any dog or send them home, whatever one you want. Sorry.
Dog. I gotta go.
You got a few. You got Ribovics.
You
can go dog.
Is Dumont a dog technically?
I'll give it to you. Yeah, she's like a pick'em, but she's a dog. Yeah, I'll give it to you. Yeah, okay.
Give me Dumont. Big
Norm, your dog lock. All right, my dog lock is going to be. I don't have many like you, brother. Son of a bitch. I don't really have any. I guess we'll go Ignacio Bahamondes. He is a dog money. Let me give the dog there. And then send him home just because I talked about it a little long in this podcast and I feel it in my bones. I'm going to go, and I think that's the only way you can win. Sean O'Malley with my send him, babe. By knockout or submission. Submission, by the way, Justin cleared it up. Sugar by submission was plus 1,800. Merab's been caught in a guillotine. I don't know how good Sugar's guillotine is, but he's been caught in a guillotine before. All right, Timbo, close us out with your send him home.
Ronaldo Rodriguez.
That's a good one.
I think that sub prop is pretty fucking good.
That sub prop is gorgeous. I'm going to play that. I got it written down. All right, there's just recap everything. My locks are mortal lock, Daniel Zellhuber. Dog lock, Ignacio Bahamondes, and my send him home. And if you're new to the show, send him home means he's just going to finish him. Johnny and
Send him home early.
any type of finish is Sean O'Malley. Timbo's locks are Mortal, who's a plus money mortal. You don't get those often, but he's confident. Is Valentina Shevchenko to win her title back. His dog lock is Big Norm. And then his send him home is Ronaldo Rodriguez. You got 2 females in your 3 locks. Yeah. So by the end of this, dude, you're the one who might know chicks, bro.
Some chicks, dude.
You're going for the chicks title, bro. And then my green hammer is Raul Rojas Chihuihuis. Buy sub minus 180-ish. Different books have different numbers, but buy sub is minus 180-ish. And then my slime ball parlay, the old slimy slime, is Daniel Zellhuber, Ronaldo Rodriguez, and Joshua Van. Viva La Almost plus 241 is the current line. I got it at plus 244. Maybe wait till Saturday because it looks like money's coming on Ribovics and Zellhuber is coming down a little bit. But Van or anybody else could go up. But that's it. That's a show. Again, we're at 2K. I'm in the lab making 2K shirts, Club 2K shirts. Got some ideas. Speaking of that, if there's anyone in the chat, anyone that listens, the audio is going up right after this. I know it's early, so people might be able to catch this later. If anyone wants to design the 2K designs, Club 2K designs, I'll give you the entire profits of the shirt sold. I will warn you, though, I don't sell a lot of shirts, so the profits might be $15, $20. However,
Christian and myself, we always buy them.
Yeah, Christian and Timbo will buy them. So you'll get the entire profit if you want to come up with a design I like. I got something in my head that I might go to Canva and do myself. But either way, if you send me a dope design, if you want to do that, you get all the profits. But it's not going to be like a ton of money. I wish it would be. But anyway, thank you so much to the chat. You guys are fucking incredible. Thank you for all the 2,000 subscribers. Thank you for all the support on the Anakin Florian podcast. Thank you to Timbo for joining me. This guy rarely misses. If ever, it's like a fucking real life thing. He always makes time for me for being a busy guy, a busy dad, a busy future husband. I love it. Thank you, everybody. You guys are the best. Let's fucking go, baby.
Let's go.